What's up? I'm iStormo, and we're here to answer some questions with sounds of the future.
Is that 508?
Yeah. Now I'm back in this shit. I'm just back in this shit. I'm back in this shit. I'm just back in this shit. Now I'm back in this shit. I'm back in this shit. I'm back in this shit. Yeah.
What's up? It's Nolan, back with another episode of Sounds of the Future TV. Who am I here with today?
Here with iStormo.
Thank you so much for joining us, bro. So I just want to get started with, let's talk about your first memory of music. Let's go all the way back. Do you remember what your first memory of music was?
Damn, my first memory of music. I had to say, I was in a car in Florida. I was like really like a baby type shit. Probably in like the, one of them booster seats. And I think my mom had on the radio. And the song "Lost Without You" by Robin Thicke came on. Yeah. And I'm like a baby for real. And that's like, I feel like my first awareness of like paying attention to music, 100%.
That's dope. So now to talk about the type of music you make, what really inspires your sound? And like, is there any artists that you really pull from and then, just kind of utilizing your art?
Got you. In this era of my sound, I would definitely say I'm inspired by like life, like real life, and like my situation that I'm going through, and I like to embody that and put that into music. And artists that I look up to and like look for and inspiration, I would definitely say production wise first, because I'm a producer as well. I create all my own beats from scratch. Sometimes I have my producer friends come help me and like we collab on beats. But I would say Tame Impala. Yeah, definitely. I love the way Tame Impala make music, and the fact that he does everything himself, from his vocals, mixing, mastering, and his beats. I really look to him for inspiration. His album Currents, that one is a great one. And then I would say Travis Scott. I like that psychedelic vibe that he has in his music. Obviously, Travis Scott. He also produces himself as well. Pharrell Williams, and then lately, I want to put more, like I said, like my life into the music, and Kendrick Lamar really does a great job. Yeah. So to Pimp a Butterfly, I kind of had that on repeat, just seeing like how he words his feelings and his delivery, and just those elements. I feel like they make a great song.
Right. So to talk about both aspects of your art, you mentioned you're both a artist on that side and a producer on behind the scenes more so. So what aspect would you prefer in the sense? Would you prefer the more lyrical side of things, or do you prefer to be a producer? You kind of think they kind of play off each other in a way?
I would definitely say they play off each other in a way, because I make a lot of beats, and I made so many beats that not a lot fit the style of like music that I want to make, because I'm just like just creating just to create. And then I have like a mode I turn on where I like look for like certain sounds that fit like a certain vibe of my project, and those beats are the ones that I end up putting on my tapes and my singles and all that as well. So I definitely say they play off each other, and I want to sell my beats too. So I've just been working on like just finding artists on like via TikTok and Instagram, and just I feel like it's a way to make money as well, because I have all these beats, and I know if I'm not gonna rap on them, somebody else probably will, for sure.
So you mentioned earlier how you are really focused on, like you said you were inspired by how Kendrick Lamar kind of raps and is able to express his feelings and stuff on tracks.
For sure.
So do you feel like music has given you an outlet to really express your true feelings, whether it be, just how you're feeling that day, or just like past emotions and stuff like that? And yeah, like I said, has it gave you that outlet that you may not have had in the past?
Yes, 100%. I don't even know. I don't never had anything else like music besides maybe I say fashion, but I feel like fashion, like it says, like the way you dress says a lot about you too, but like music, you can actually put it into words. And I remember not always having the words or vocabulary to express myself while making music, but I've been making music like since 2018, and just making so many songs, and just finding myself via the music as well has taught me a lot about self-expression, and I've learned to deliver that in my lyrics as well. Right. And I feel like being like, you have songs where it's like more like a feeling, but in my new music I want to embody like what I've been through, so I can connect with the listener, and I feel like it shows like a human side, and I feel like it can definitely help somebody deal with what they're going through as well.
Right. So you mentioned how you're into fashion too, and that form of expression, and you also mentioned earlier how you were influenced by Travis Scott. obviously now he's, you know, a brand at this point, and he's expanded beyond music into fashion and all this other stuff, you know, just, I think he's got his own alcohol now and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Would you ever consider expanding beyond music into maybe having your own clothing brand, or maybe having your own just brand in general that you are able to express yourself in that format?
That is super fire. And yeah, that's something I always think about. I'm really inspired about, I'm really inspired by the artists who learned to express themselves and capitalize off their success and find different modes of creativity and creation. And I would say I'm leaning more towards like films and like visual side of things, but definitely would have a brand, and I don't want to do just merch. I want to kind of make it like actual, like a brand, more than like just putting like my album art on like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And just have messages through my brands as well, and it don't have to be specifically just about my music. I want to take it beyond like a logo or like a t-shirt. I feel like when I do something, I really like dive into it, and I just want to do it to like the best of my ability, for sure.
So to talk more about visuals too, as an artist, like we just mentioned, you kind of have to be more than just the music. You have to appeal to the people in different formats, and visuals definitely do that. Can you talk about the importance of, or I guess how much you value visuals, especially in this day and age of like content and, you know, the aesthetics and stuff like that?
For sure. I feel like visuals are really important, and now more than ever, like you said, because a lot of stuff is like content based. I feel like you can't really even get a song heard for real if you're not like putting content behind your music. And it's just a way that the audience can connect with you on a different level. You got the audio, and then you pair it with the visuals, and you can really embody like a message that maybe the song is about, and push the song to the next level and elevate the song. And shout out Michael Jackson, because I feel like he was like one of the first artists who made it really cool to have like a music video and like a cool concept behind your song. Sometimes visuals can get taxing and draining when you just like trying to figure out like what to do and how should I present the song to the world. And as artists, we do feel like we shouldn't have to focus on the visuals as much, but in this day and age, like I said, like you really have to put that extra step and that extra effort to put yourself out there. And the visuals always don't have to be like some cool type of thing, but like if you do go beyond and go ahead and make a music video, or you can even do it yourself, like record yourself, get a tripod and be behind a cool backdrop. Like for real, it's a lot of ways to do it. Bet.
So now I want to shift into the future a little bit. I want to talk about legacy. So how would you want to be remembered as an artist when it's all said and done, 50 years from now, you look back on your life and your career? And I guess not only as an artist too, how would you want to be looked at as a person?
As a person, I want to be looked at as someone who put their all into doing what they wanted to do. And I don't want to be known just for like music. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. Tyler, the Creator, bro. Yeah. Yes, that's a big inspiration too. Like Tyler, like really elevated his whole sound, and he has different eras where he put his visuals behind his projects and really like goes deep inside of the new concepts for his album. So I want to be looked similar to that, like somebody who really like, I feel like that's like true artistry for real. Like you can take an idea and expand it to its fullest. Yeah, that's how I want to be looked at, as a true artist and a good person. Honestly, good is a word that like can be used. Everybody has their own definition of good. I feel like there's not just one definition of good. What I think is good can be bad for somebody else and vice versa. So when I say good, I just mean to my family in a way where I'm just putting like that energy and helping putting my family on and just providing for them, being a gateway to get out our current situation. That's what I feel like. And then for like the world and like the people, I just always kind of want to put like a positive spin and like a different perspective for somebody to look at life as like in a different way. Like I feel when you consume art, it becomes a part of you, and then you end up like passing that down to somebody else. And that's what I feel like my music can be for people as well. They can pass like lessons on, or life experiences, or even a feeling. 100%. That's tough.
And I got 2 more questions for you. I want to talk about any upcoming work, projects, stuff you want to promote, stuff like that.
Got you. Appreciate that. I have a project coming out called World of Pink, and I did a lot of visuals for that one. The visuals aren't just like music videos. I really took the concept of the song and I expanded it visually, and I just have a lot of ideas that I put behind it, a lot of energy, a lot of behind the scenes work going on. That should drop around in the summer. I don't want to say exactly what's going on yet, but it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty big when it comes out, and I'm excited to get that out there. And then I'm about to drop a single called "A Lot on My Mind." It's a song where I'm basically talking about my day-to-day life and how it feels to be an artist, and like I said, like we mentioned and talked about before, the content. So I'm just like on the phone, just kind of looking at my statistics and a lot of like trivial stuff like that, and it just feels like I have a lot going on in my mind trying to get it out, and I feel like somebody can relate to it as well.
Word.
Especially being like a creative.
Excited to hear it. And last question for you. We have a segment called Words from the Future where we ask the artist to give the audience any advice or just a lasting message. What you got?
For sure. I would definitely let the audience know to dive into what you want to do, dive into your passion, do it to the fullest that you can. I feel like a lot of times we can kind of get lazy or procrastinate on our ideas, but it's your job as an artist and as a creative person to get your ideas out there, spread it to the world, share it to the world. And also don't let it consume you too. Like it's good, like in a way, you know, people be like, oh, let the art consume you, let it take over, and just kind of dive 100% into that. But you can't neglect your personal life. And I feel like it's important to build life experiences that are with your friends and with family and feeling that real human connection with people as well. And just making sure you're not neglecting that, honestly.
Fire. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That is another episode of Sounds of Future TV. Excited to see where you go in the future, bro.
Appreciate you, gang, for having me.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
Back in the field, back like I never left, ready to spill. Only got one shot, I go for the kill. Could've went platinum with thoughts of the drill, but I found a better way without a deal.